Hello, welcome to Get Your Mind On. I'm Lori Stohs. In the last episode, we talked about confidence is key. And confidence is key, and hopefully that you have learned that and learned the areas that you maybe lack confidence and maybe where you are confident. Well, let's think about managing confidence and managing lack of confidence. Most of the time we think about performers in our environment and you automatically think of those people. Who are those confident people? They show up, they give ideas, they're moving at a fast pace, they're getting work done, they're contributing, they put a lot of time and effort. They come and tell you the things that you need to hear. They always have new processes, maybe new ways to improve things, and they're always bringing others under their wing. You can see that natural confidence. Now, those who lack confidence, there are those too. There are those who get their work done, but sometimes they're the ones who are a little bit unsure of themselves. They don't speak up as much, or maybe they speak up and maybe it's negative, or maybe that they're just not sure. They're always tentative. And those individuals are really hard to manage sometimes. So we really want to spend some time thinking about that. But it's interesting as we think about human potential and wanting to have an organization with great potential, with great people in it. Cornell University did a study about individuals and their confidence in themselves and found that we lack confidence. They had students rank themselves in terms of how they thought they did versus what they really did. And it was an average of 20% lower than people had expected to do. So when really you think about that, we have a tendency to naturally underestimate that lack of self-esteem or self-worth, or maybe that didn't think we did as good as we could have. So that's naturally what we're working with people. So when we think about how we as managers can make an impact on people, it's really important that we create a place, an environment for them to be confident and be successful in. But we can't solve all the problems, right? The individual has to work on those things themselves in terms of that wiring and getting into that deep ball of yarn about their own self-worth, self-confidence, and maybe self-esteem issues. But what we need to do is we need to create an environment to make them successful at. So first, what we need as managers to do is, number one, make sure they're in the right role. I think many times people have applied for jobs, we've gotten them in the role, we maybe thought that they could do what they do, they didn't, or maybe they have exceeded that, and we need to stop and evaluate what are our needs as a team and what are they doing and what is their role, and are they capable and are they confident in that role? So I think that's the first thing. Second, I think then what we really have to do is think about the feedback. People just want to know what their job is and give them feedback. Help them know what's going well and what's not. And I always say we have the whole Oreo cookie approach. Tell them something good about what they're doing, give them some feedback, and then tell them something they're doing well as well. So when we think about the Oreo cookie piece, people need feedback, but we have to be able to give the feedback to them in a positive way. The criticism isn't going to help anybody who has low self-esteem. So we really have to think about that and how we can build them up and how we can give them an environment they can be successful in. If they're already fragile with lack of self-esteem and lack of self-worth, us giving critical feedback is going to make that fragility just even even weaker, right? They're going to just fall apart even more. Versus when we really think about the confidence, somebody being good at what they do, and we just need to build them up, those positive feedback, that whole positive environment will help them. Again, then really it gives them more motivation to work on their own beliefs and their own self-esteem. So that's really important for us to give that feedback to them. Also, employee recognition is good to help others give feedback to that individual in terms of how they can be appreciative of their work. I think that's really important for that individual to hear from others beyond their manager how important they're doing and what they can contribute in the workplace. Also, another thing for you as a manager to do is give them new responsibilities. Find the things that they're really good at and just give them a little bit more and give them a little bit more. Obviously, people who are a little timid and lack self-confidence usually aren't raising their hand wanting new assignments. They're usually saying, hey, I'm fine. But what we need to do is grow them just a little bit at a time in what they're doing well already. Don't set them up for failure by giving them something that they totally are not confident in. So we have to really think about how we can grow them and how we can do it a little by little and then show them, look what you've done from the last time. The other thing that we need to do as managers is we also need to communicate to them and help them know where we're at with them. I think one thing is I'm always thinking in my head about what I'm doing to help the employee grow self-esteem and confidence. Sometimes I believe in them more than they believe in themselves, but I forget to tell them what my plan is, because most of the time they need a plan. People with lack of self-confidence need to know a little bit more. They need some certainty. So when I'm kind of flying and moving along and thinking about their growth plan based off conversations we've had, I maybe have forgotten to tell them that. So when I send them down a path of something, they're like a little uncertain to say, what is she doing? Why are we doing this? Versus me saying, hey, you know what? I really believe in you, and here's some new responsibilities I'm going to give you. Let's walk down this path together. Here's what it's going to look like. And then let's just keep in touch with each other. We don't know. It might go left. It might go right. But just know that I have your back and I'm here to set you up for success. I think that's really important. So communicating with them about the plan that you have for them. Now, you probably have some employees who maybe have too much confidence. They're very confident, and sometimes that gets in their way. Maybe it's not linking up to their performance. They think they're doing a really good job. They think they're really good at it, and maybe their performance is not as great as we'd like it to. So we have to give feedback to those individuals as well. We need to make sure that we're giving them feedback to help them, as one of my other episodes was about relativity. It's all relative in terms of their performance, and giving them feedback about, here's where you are. You've done a lot of work, but the quality has not been as good. So we need to step back and think about some of the things that we need to do for quality checks or whatever it might be that's a measurement for that person to kind of bring them back in so that they can still have confidence. We have to be careful not to shatter their confidence, but we have to just bring them in to say, how does this affect others, or how does this affect the company when we make those mistakes, or whatever it might be with confidence. So we sometimes have that as well. So I think we have to, don't forget to let them go. We have to give them feedback as well. So for positive charge this week, first, think about your team members. Who are maybe the ones who need a little bit more self-confidence? And two, build your strategy about the tips that I gave, whether that's giving them a new assignment or giving them feedback, or creating an environment of a positive feedback within employees. What is your plan for them so that they can grow? Managing people is like parenting, right? It's a difficult thing, and many of us love it, but then there's some challenges in it. We want to build a group of confident people who can give back to the organization. We know when we build confidence in people, those are the people who are stepping forward and bringing new ideas and committing their time and being a best employee and most engaged that they can be. So let's do our job to make a group of confident employees. Thanks for joining us today, and remember to get your mind on.